All righty. Well, if you head over to the Department of Education's website today, something is noticeably absent. The application for Biden's student debt relief program. Gone after a federal judge in Texas declared what all of America already knew, that the program was actually unlawful to begin with. In the ruling, District Judge Mark Pittman criticized the Biden administration program, calling it one of the largest exercises of legislative power without congressional authority in the history of the United States. And of course, we all know why he did it. I mean, let's face it, this was all a ploy to get votes. And Biden's program would have provided borrowers with up to $20,000 in student loan relief and left many economists questioning why Biden would add such a burden to an already struggling economy. And here to weigh in on that is public policy expert Gerard Filitti, senior counsel at the Lawfare Project. Gerard, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, Gerard, so many things about this. I mean, me personally, I have two daughters I already put through college. They don't have any student loan debt. So I thought, wow, this is kind of unfair to people who worked hard right off the bat. But what kind of blow is this to the Biden agenda, coupled with us taking back the House? This is a good sign for cutting spending, isn't it?
I think this is a very good sign. This is, as you said, this is an example of an irrational, arbitrary, and quite frankly, unfair policy that has no basis because Congress never authorized this sort of action. Biden relied on the HEROES Act of 2003, which was narrowly created in 2003 to help servicemen who were serving their country in Iraq and Afghanistan and unable to make student loan payments. And he twisted that on its head and said that because there was a pandemic, student loans should be forgiven up to $20,000. And that's simply not what that act entitled the president to do.
Yeah, and there was a report a few weeks ago out of, I think, the Independent Congressional Budget Office that said this was going to skyrocket monthly debt for the country, like 500% or something. At some point, they can tell us everything they want. Policies like this are only going to create more spending, which will create more inflation. How important do you think this is that the judicial system is standing up for America?
Well, I think it's very important, and the judge got it absolutely right. The problem is this will be appealed. This will go to the Fifth Circuit. Most likely, it'll also end up in the Supreme Court in a year or two. So this battle is far from over. But it's a very good sign that the courts are willing to sign up to executive overreach, especially, as you say, this has consequences for the economy. That money has to come from somewhere. Colleges were paid. They received money from the U.S. government for students to attend. And now essentially the government's saying that's free money. No one ever has to pay it back. The Treasury is not seeing that income. The only benefit of this program was about 26 million Americans who would be enticed to vote for Biden. If they had any sense, they wouldn't, because they'd realize the damage being done to the economy, and not just the economy, but the legal system. When you're upholding the law, you cannot be turning the law on its head. You can't be instituting policies like this, which are quite frankly illegal. They're unconstitutional.
So the other chink in the armor for them, I guess, is the judge said, hey, you can't do this kind of overreach without going to Congress. So even if Biden wanted to go back to Congress, it looks like the Republicans are going to take that. So that option's off the table. So in your view, is this whole college debt forgiveness thing dead on arrival now?
It's dead for the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, I don't think it's dead from a legal perspective. While we agree with the judge's holding and we think he was right on the law, there are issues there. The judge never addressed the standing issue, which is that the plaintiffs might not have had the right to sue to begin with. So there are legitimate challenges and answers that need to be provided down the road, which is why there will be appeals, and this will be tied up in the legal system for a while. But in the near term, in the next year or so, there is no chance that Biden can revive this program. So for now, we're safe and our pocketbooks are safe.
All right. Well, let's hope they don't try to resurrect it like Freddy Krueger for the 24 elections. But breaking it all down for you, putting it in regular man terms so everyone can understand. This is good news, folks. Gerard Filitti, thank you very much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. Pleasure.
All right. Up next, The Democrat media complex loves to place the blame on Trump for everything. And we dig in more when we come back. Stick with us.